And we're back on the build phase. I'm your host, Mr. Ben, and on today's episode, we are going to talk about the My Hero Academia collectible card game. Now, before I get into the actual review of this product, I want to touch on a couple things. This is not going to be a how to play, and this is not going to be an in-depth review of the actual game mechanics here. All I'm going to be doing is opening this box and kind of reacting to and examining the contents of what is in this box. After this video, I'm going to learn how to play this game. Me and my 10-year-old are going to figure it out, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do a more in-depth review of the game. I also want to say thank you to Geek City Games and Comics. They're the ones that hooked us up with this box to crack open, make a video about, and learn how to play this game. So much appreciation to them. If you're interested in purchasing this product, you can contact them directly above me. If you're interested in like a how to play type stuff, there's a link for that above me as well. So to start off, I see the word collectible right here, and I'm gonna I realize this is semantics, but to me, a collectible card game are games like Hearthstone, Eternal, games where your card collection is linked to your account and you can't transfer those cards in any way. You can't sell them, you can't trade them. A trading card game is a game where you can sell, transfer, or exchange the cards in some way, and clearly this game is tradable because nobody's going to come to my house and stop me from trading the contents of this box if I want to. So, little bit of a nitpick about the name of that. I would call it a trading card game, but whatever. I wasn't there when they named it. So, I don't know anything about My Hero Academia, and I don't know anything about the specifics of how this card game is played, but I do know a thing or two about nerdy cartoons and a thing or two about card games. So, I have adjacent knowledge, if not direct knowledge, of this exact product. That said, we're going to dive in and see what we got going on here. This guy's like totally the Draco Malfoy type, right? Like this is our hero, or my hero, and this is going to be his like foil at the academy. I'm assuming this is like a Harry Potter type story. Whoa, that's a lot of words. Okay, so Zuku Midoriya, so that's this dude, is the chosen successor of his idol, the All Might, the world's #1 hero, who passed on his quirk, one for all, to the quirkless Midoriya by letting him eat a strand of his hair? Is that really how this guy got... I mean, okay, I like Spider-Man. The guy got bit by a spider, so this dude ate some hair. Okay, whatever, it's fine. After training hard with the All Might to condition his body to handle the inherited ability, Midoriya joins UA High. Oh, so this is going to be like a Harry Potter story. These guys are in school together. Where he begins to grow and take his first steps as a hero. Midoriya's gifted quirk, when used at its full power, allows him to unleash incredibly devastating bursts of strength at the intensity of one for all. But it's damaging to his body, so he prepares for that with advanced analytical skills prior to confronting his opponents. Clever players will be able to utilize one for all at just the right moment to ensure Midoriya is victorious. Okay, cool. Little weird with the hair eating, but whatever. Katsuki Bakugo is determined and driven to be #1 hero. So this guy's totally the Draco Malfoy. I see it already. Bakugo's quirk. So quirk must be what these people call superpowers. Like within the My Hero Academia, I'm sure people who are fans of My Hero Academia are like, of course you fool. But so quirk must be like his superpower, which is explosion, which allows him to ignite his explosive sweat on command. Okay, I'm in. I'm gonna watch this show now. That sounds hilarious. It grants him incredible offensive might. He's always on the attack, so it sounds like this guy's going to be an aggro deck, and Midoriya is going to be a combo/control deck, where he's got to be smart before he uses his one for all power, and this other guy is just going to be aggro the whole time. This my guesses so far. So, while playing as Bakugo, players will unleash a continuous barrage of strikes, overwhelming their opponent with explosive power. So yeah, this definitely seems like we're going to get an aggro deck and then maybe a control deck with a payoff turn. The rival box contains 2 51-card decks, 2 random ultra-rare cards from the card game. Build this to be the best Universes fighter. So now this Universes system, I believe, is a more general system that has all kinds of different properties in it. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Cowboy Bebop, like a bunch of different stuff. I have never learned how to play it though, although I've been interested on the basis of it having Cowboy Bebop. So I learned my lesson after the Radlands opening. I'm going to use a knife from now on and not scratch my boxes up. So overall, the exterior presentation of this, if you're into this property, I think this probably looks very attractive. It's got a nice gloss. Ooh, listen to that gloss. It's got a nice gloss look to it. This is a lot on the back, and it's a lot that has that feeling that anime sometimes gets where it's maybe not been translated by somebody who's a native English speaker, or the property itself is just a little like eating hair to get your powers is kind of coming from an American mindset. That's a little bit of a weird superhero backstory, but whatever. Overall, I think this looks really nice. So does this... Oh, it opens like that? Ooh. Okay, so this must keep our cards from flying around. So here's our two decks. We've got what I predict is going to be a control deck, and what I predict is going to be an aggro deck in the form of Midoriya and Bakugo, respectively. So let's set that up there and see what other goodies are in here. Okay. So these, I'm guessing these are player mats, and here's our Learn How to Play book. So that looks like it's all... So the interior of this packaging is much less impressive than the outside, but this isn't a board game. And like within the board game sphere, you kind of expect the packaging to have a little bit of a wow factor. In the collectible card game sphere, this is just trash. So it's fine. The exterior looks really good. It is a nice feel when it opens, but yeah, once you get into it, there's nothing else going on in there. Okay, so we're gonna look through this how to play real quick. I'm not gonna take the time to read this right now, so I will have to reserve judgment on how effective this is at actually teaching you the game. Okay, so here's the game zone setup. I guess before I go any further in the instructions, I'm gonna... Oh, it's a poster on one side? Class is in session, okay. And, okay, so here's our play area. Deck, discard, we've got our card pool. All right. Now, I wonder if the other one is a poster of the other character. The hair looks different, so I'm going to guess that this is a poster for the other character. Oh, and the playmat looks just a little bit different, too. This is more like the color scheme for the other character. And yeah, here's, what was his name again? Zuku Midoriya. Okay. So that's cool. I like that they give you the playmat if you need it, and it's a cool poster if you don't, if you're of the age group that still hangs posters on your walls. I say with my stuff on the walls behind me. So they break it down by game zone, card type. So I think foundations are the things that you build up here, maybe? Attacks. I have watched people play an older version of what I think is this game with a different property, so I'm not completely ignorant on it. My understanding is that it's kind of like a fighting game where you're going to have your like high, medium, and low attacks, and you have cards that represent those different attacks, and this is really supposed to be reminiscent of playing a fighting game in the arcade or whatever. So I don't know how effective this rulebook is going to be. I'm going to be honest, it looks to me like there's a lot of pictures and not a lot of explanatory information, and my understanding is this is a pretty complicated game, so this rulebook might not be sufficient to actually learn how to play the game. Yeah, probably you'll need to go to a YouTube video or some such, which is not a big deal. I mean, I do like that card back. I think that looks cool. Okay, so let's tear open. We're going to start with the good guy, and I'm going to try to do this without damaging any of my collectible cards. Okay. So I like that they package these in such a way that you have your foil card on top. My guess is that the only two foil cards in the set are going to be the two main characters. So as far as the foiling looks, I actually think they did a pretty cool job on this. The background is foiled, but it's not foiled out to the point where it's kind of like nonsense. Now, I'll admit this is a little bit background deficient. He's just kind of standing in an electrical cloud, so it's not as dynamic. I kind of prefer cards where it looks like the character is actually in a place, but whatever. The foiling doesn't go over the text on the card, which I really like, and there's a place where the character kind of pops without the foil. So overall, I think this is a good foiling job. I've seen cards that are far harder to read and interpret. Decent finish on these cards. I like them. Again, background deficient art. He's just kind of like in the air in like an electrical cloud, but I do like how dynamic this is. This is the same punch art that I think is on the cover of the box. Yeah, I do like that piece of artwork a great deal. Oh, I was wrong. There's more foils in here. The Delaware Smash. Aspiring Punch. These names are going to get me. So we have another foil. Determined Victory Smash. So are all these like no background? Yeah, it's all... Okay, there's a little bit of background there. So this is kind of about what I would expect from an anime-based card game. You can see the character, he's doing cool things, but there's a lot of that like kind of Dragon Ball Z moments where there's just like electricity or like cool action stuff in the background, but it doesn't look like the character actually is anywhere. I mean, here, I'm not sure what these are, like lockers of some kind, but at least you can tell the guy's actually in a spot, which I do kind of like. Overall, though, there's a uniformity to the artwork. When I think of a series like maybe like One Punch Man, where it swings between different art styles throughout the episode, while it works for the episode, that might be a little jarring in a card game. So I like that there's kind of a continuity to how these characters are drawn. And at least so far, I haven't seen any of the ones where they completely like wipe all the facial features off the... And maybe that's in the anime. I don't know. Again, I haven't seen it. But I've seen other animes where they have somebody reacting like, huh? And they wipe all the facial features off the guy and just have like little dots for eyes. And I like a uniformity in my artwork. Don't know who... Oh, gift from mom. Well, I mean, it is a story about high schoolers, right? So we got a lot of gifts from mom here. Oh, he made a good impression. Note taking. Now, this is maybe one of the most boring cards we've seen so far. He's not fighting. He's taking notes. The card's called note taking. Like, it's not dynamic at all. But you can kind of tell that he's outside at the school. You see where he is. And I like that. I like being able to see the background as well. Passing the torch. So I wonder if this is... Oh, that's the hair. That's the hair that he eats. He's not passing a torch. He's passing a hairball, man. Oh, that's so funny. Another foil card here. I want to look at this one. I like this. I like this foil as well. It's not as in your face as the first one that we looked at, or artwork wise, it's not as in your face as the second one we looked at either. But it's just enough foiling to it. I wonder if the camera really does it justice. It's easy to read. You can still tell who it is in the art, but it gives it a nice finish. Like, this is how I think foiling should be done. I've definitely played games where the foiling, oh man, there's some Final Fantasy cards where the entire background is just prisms, and I feel like it detracts from the artwork. This supports the artwork nicely. I like it a lot. Recovery Girl's Kiss. This like anteater thing is trying to kiss our boy here. I like this. It looks like he's actually doing something. You can see that there's somebody watching over him in his training. Here's another one where he is clearly in a place as opposed to just in energy clouds. And finally we have... So it did say there was going to be one ultra rare, or two ultra rares. I'm guessing there's one per deck, and this says you are down here. So this is probably the random card that came in this deck. Specialized Sound Wave. I hope that is the plug for her guitar or something. Okay, so that's our hero deck. So we got a handful of foil cards. I think this is smart as a manufacturer. You give people a few foil cards, so They know that there's some of them out there to chase, as opposed to just if you only give them the hero card as a foil, I don't think that's as good of a carrot. But giving them kind of, oh, well, now there's like 3 cards in my deck that I have 1 foil of. I need to go find a matching set for that. All right, so let's look at the foil to our hero here. Or maybe this guy's the main character. Maybe I'm wrong. It seems like, oh, there's a... All right, so for smart people who are fans of this, you don't need a knife to open the cards. There's a thing on the side. Okay, so one thing I'm going to be looking for is how many repeats do we get between these 2 decks? Are these going to be 2 wholly unique decks, or are we going to get a bunch of bulk cards? I want to look at this foil a little bit. Again, I think really good job on this foil. It supports the artwork. It makes our boy Kitsuki Bakugo look really cool. It doesn't take away from him, and most importantly, you can read all the text on the card. Well, I don't know what any of these words mean yet. At some point, I'm going to need to be able to read the words on the card, so I like that is very clear. I like the art on this Blast Rush Turbo. Like, you can kind of see the buildings fading. The color scheme looks really cool. Wow. So far, I like the look of this guy's cards better than our main guy here. Okay, now this looks awesome. So the foil on this explosion really pops. This looks super dynamic. I hope this card is good. I hope this isn't one of those cards that looks amazing but doesn't do anything. Instant explosive release. Man, I like the art in this deck a lot better than the other deck. Oh, look at the fire. He's like burning that dude into nothing. Monster Blast. Point Blank Incineration. These card names are fantastic as well. I am really enjoying this. Signature Right Swing. Okay, that's a little boring. Aggressive Temper. Okay, that's a real step. I say the card names are cool, and then we get Aggressive Temper. Agitation. So they did mention that a bunch of the character traits of the character were that he's easy to anger, an aggressive guy. Like, so if you're a fan of this character, I imagine having cards with this name really help drive home the theme of the game. And I wonder if that's going to be, you're going to need to get the Kind Heart card for a few different characters that could take advantage of that, whereas it might not play as well with a character who clearly wouldn't have, like, obviously I don't know if Kind Heart is the name of an actual card, but that idea that your cards aren't just moves or different characters, but they're like personality traits. Like, that seems really cool to me. I like that. Burst of Speed. Now wait a minute. This is Naruto running. This isn't My Hero Academia. My kids told me this is how the Naruto people run. Oh, wow. So I have to give this game really high marks on the foiling. It just doesn't seem like it's doing it justice, but this looks incredible. Particularly the little embellishments where it's like really foily. It makes this look just like the guy's throwing fire. Whoosh. I like this a lot. Okay, Encouragement. Wait, isn't this the guy who gave our dude the hair? I think it is. So does he teach more than one person? Is he not just on Zuku's side? Yeah, that's the same dude, clearly. All right, so it looks like, what's his name? The all-in-one strength or whatever it was. It looks like this guy's playing more than one side. Maybe he's like an instructor of some kind. In Danger. Okay, this is maybe the first card I've looked at, and I'm like, that card art kind of sucks. Like, it's boring. Nothing's happening. He looks like he just woke up and somebody offered him a cup of coffee. That, not great. And this here is what I'm talking about with the so look at our guy. Let me find another. Okay, well, even just right here. This is like a fully fleshed out, like detailed face, and this is kind of blank. Now, he looks like a little kid here, so maybe this is from a flashback sequence where he actually is a little kid, and this isn't one of those moments in anime where they just kind of reduce everybody to like childlike features. Again, I don't mind it in the anime, but in a card game, I don't know that it would. I like uniformity of art. Personal preference, not hating on it if you like that chibi style. Grape Rush Attack. Oh, man. I don't know what to make of this. crying guy with a toilet seat around his waist throwing grapes at me. So this is the other ultra rare. I have to assume that this fits in well with this deck, but both of these ultra rares are super weird just in terms of how they look. These maybe My Hero Academia is kind of like X-Men, where they have a bunch of different kind of unique characters with their own superpowers, and these are maybe almost comic relief characters, like side characters. Okay, last thoughts. I talked already about the overall packaging. I thought it looked good. I thought it felt good. I do like the way these cards feel, although they're maybe a little slick for my taste, but that's personal preference. They have a sturdiness to them that I like. The card backs look cool. The art, for the most part, feels like it all fits together and is kind of telling the same story, which, if this is a coming-of-age story about a bunch of kids with superpowers, I mean, that touches on things like Harry Potter, things like the X-Men. And that's a story I definitely think I could get behind just on the basis of looking at these cards. I actually am interested in trying to check out the anime. So, I mean, well played, Jasco. You got me to watch your cartoon. So, altogether, I think I'm pretty excited to play this game. You know, I'm looking at this one here, and I see it's got like an arrow pointing up and then a grayed out arrow in the middle and one at the bottom. So I think that is indicative of like our fighting game move. So again, this would be like a high attack. So this card has like health points and stuff. So maybe when we start the game, this actually goes into play. So this is like an avatar as opposed to a card that gets shuffled into your deck. And I've already lost the other avatar, which, if that's the case, these could have a different card back. Maybe not. Well, I'm not going to sit here and guess how to try to figure out how to play the card game just on the basis of looking at the cards. But overall, I'm pretty enthused about this product. I think this looks fun. It has me interested in both the game and the anime. So, high marks. I'll report back and once I know how to play the game and see if the actual mechanics match the production value on this starter kit. All right. One last time, I want to say thank you to Geek City for providing us with this product to crack open, take a look at, and be able to do a review on. And until next time, go win some games.